everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a massive red alert, and that is this: the police state is coming for you. If you are a Christian, a conservative, a Trump supporter, a libertarian, or even just straight up a Republican, then chances are you've already had your information on social media either removed, blacklisted, downgraded, or silenced in some way, shape, or form, and that's just the first step. Not only that, but now, as you've seen through some of the reports that I've done, Nancy Pelosi has labeled us, well, enemies of the state. We've been called terrorists simply for being Republicans. And now the Department of Homeland Security is accusing Trump supporters of potential violence without any evidence to back that up. Things are getting rocky, and I've got so much information to share with you. But before I do, just a quick break. Apple recently released a long-awaited privacy feature that prevents you from being tracked on websites. Facebook relied on tracking more than any other business, so it's no surprise that they are doing everything in their power to stop this. Apple users now have the ability to decide whether or not they want to be tracked. Opting out will prevent their data from being used for ultra-targeted ads across the web. While this is a step in the right direction, this feature will not completely protect you online. This is why I am a massive and huge supporter of a VPN, a virtual private network. And the only one that I trust and use is Virtual Shield. And right now, you can get 50% off for life and a 30-day free trial at hidewithlisa.com. I keep Virtual Shield turned on my computer and my cell phone at all times because I feel safe with it on. It's easy to use and it's a simple tool and will really keep you browsing the internet anonymously. When it's on, my data is hidden from ISPs, big corporations, or corporations in general, and even hackers. Right now, they have an amazing special of 50% off for life and up to 30 days free. And it's so easy to sign up. All you have to do is go to hidewithlisa.com. When you're there, click on the big red button, Start Now for free. Then you can select which package you want. Then click how many months you want. I personally recommend 24 months. It's the best deal at the best price. And then choose on any add-ons that you like. That's how easy it is to sign up and get a VPN. And as a quick reminder, Virtual Shield, I personally use and recommend them because they wipe everything within a 24-hour period. Check it out right now at hidewithlisa.com, and more information can be found in the description box below. All right, back to the broadcast. So let's start first with what the Department of Homeland Security has said about Trump supporters. Take a look at this article on abcnews.com. Homeland Security warns of increasing but modest threat of violence from Trump conspiracy. DHS said it had no specific evidence of an imminent plot. The article goes on. The DHS said Friday they have observed an increasing but modest level of activity online by people who are calling for violence in response to baseless claims of the 2020 election fraud and relate to the conspiracy theory that former President Donald Trump will be reinstated. It goes on to state that over the last few days, what has occurred is there's been much more public visibility, meaning the discussions and these theories have migrated away from being contained within the conspiracy and extremist online communities to where they're being the topic of discussion on web forums or more public web forums, and even within the sort of media ecosystem, a senior DHS official has explained. DHS says that in the bulletin, they do not have specific evidence there is a plot imminent. Quote, a public visibility of the narrative increases. We are concerned about more calls to violence. Reporting indicates that the timing of these activities may occur during August 2021, although we lack information on specified plots or planning actions. The bulletin sent to state and local partners reads. So they have absolutely no information on an imminent plot that is being planned by Trump conspirators here in the United States of America. However, they're going to put out this bulletin. Why are they going to put out this bulletin? Because Biden, I think that's appropriate name for the Biden administration, right? Well, Biden and his administration earlier this year put out the Domestic Terrorist Act of 2021. Let me go there before I expand. And here it is. And this is on Congressman Fred Upton's page, but it's the introduction of the Domestic Terrorist Prevention Act of 2021. What is this act about? Well, it tells the Biden administration, the FBI, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, and every other intelligence community department here in the U.S., or a lot of them anyway, to specifically go after domestic extremism in the United States, treat them as foreign terrorists here in the United States, and specifically go after right-wing extremists, something that they've dubbed and labeled white supremacy. But nobody has a real definition of what a white supremacist is, but they've tied that into what happened at the Capitol in January, and they say, well, that's kind of it, even though that had nothing to do with white supremacy attack. It was about election. But yet, it's such an open-ended, bland statement. We now have the Department of Homeland Security, as you just saw in that article, specifically warning about Trump conspiracy or Trump supporter violence, even though there is no imminent act. Meanwhile, you're going to get this kind of stuff when they're directly told to just go after one political side. They have not been directed to look into domestic extremism on the far left. Nope. That was left off a lot of these Biden's latest ploys. Meanwhile, here's the kind of stuff that's going on. Take a look, foxnews.com. Pelosi calls Trump, and this is just a reminder, and GOP lawmakers domestic enemies and enemies of the state. That's Nancy Pelosi. Then we have Salon.com. Republican Party is now a terrorist organization, and none of this is a surprise, right? Then we have Breitbart.com, MSNBC's Jason Johnson. Democrats need to say Republicans are actual terrorists. Breitbart.com, national security expert, GOP behaving like a terror group. They need to be viewed as enemy combatants. Enemy combatants? Domestic terrorists of the state? Enemies of the state? Terrorist? That's what they want to define a Republican as. And now we have information that specifically is targeting Trump supporters. This is a tyrannical move above and beyond anything that we have ever seen. Meanwhile, Antifa, who I would define as, I don't know, the Democratic Party isn't doing anything about Antifa at all. They are bailing them out of jail, giving them a free pass. They're allowed to hold their banners up, but if you hold anything up in opposition to BLM and Antifa, you're removed, labeled, taken down. That's why I say the police state is already here as an online force. They're not rounding up at this time. But let me tell you something. It's specifically against one side, and I know many of you are seeing this, and my heart is breaking because what happened to the Bosniaks is happening here to the conservatives and Christians and Trump supporters right here in the United States of America. It's happening to us. The parallels are insane. And I'm going to do a report on that sometime later this month. But it's interesting. They delabeled them. They called them bad names. They called them domestic terrorists. They put them on lists. Isn't that funny? AOC already has us created a list of Trump supporters, right? Called for a list. Same difference. Same thing they did with them. And then what eventually happened to them? Well, it's not a pretty picture. Round up, killed, murdered. But it was for the safety of humanity, according to the tyrants at the time. And what breaks my heart is so many here in America are actually clapping for it. Oh, yeah. Put those unvaccinated people in jail or take away all their rights. It's okay if you want to monitor all my information online because Google protects me if they want to go through my pictures and check everything. All right. Put that breathalyzer in my car. Great. It's going to save lives. Make me wear a mask or a biosuit. I don't care what you do. There is an avid applause. And that's what's most terrifying. Meanwhile, BLM is getting away with any and everything they want. Here's just the latest stuff that they've done. Take a look. FoxNews.com. New York pastor responds after church is targeted by BLM protesters for a gun giveaway. And just because he said something they didn't like. We have another one here. RTNews.com. Religious persecution comes to America as Antifa thugs attack a Christian gathering in Portland. And the police just stood by. Just stood by. I've gone to rallies here in Arizona where BLM and Antifa thugs came up, escorted by the police here in Phoenix, and were given a free pass to do whatever. And this was at a rally to stand for our freedoms that were being taken away here in Arizona. And what does the world do? Not you guys, obviously so. But there's so many brainwashed people out there. Anyhow, I'm going to be speaking at a conference, and I'm going to throw this up on the screen, hearthewatchman.com. I really want to encourage you to check that out. I'm really going to expand on what I'm talking about in today's broadcast at that conference. You're not going to want to miss it. But it's September 16th through the 19th, assuming they don't do a secondary lockdown there in California, but it's in San Diego, and I hope to see you guys there. It's live and in person. You can get information at hearthewatchman.com. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks again for being a part. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.